Hey guys, Orly here, founder of LifeVestInside, and I want to thank each and every one of you for deciding to kick off your week with me on the weekly Kindness Kickoff with Orly, where I do reading from my book, Kindness Boomerang, How to Save the World and Yourself Through 365 Daily Acts. And then I give you, myself, and all of us out there an exciting kindness challenge based on the reading. For those of you that may not have a copy of the book and you want to figure out how you could get one, you could make a purchase directly on the LifeVestInside website, and that's LifeVestInside.com. Or you can pick up a copy on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, IndieBound, Target, iTunes, and it makes for a great gift, not just for yourself, but also for someone that you really love. It's broken down to 365 pages. For every single day of the year, one page with an act, an inspirational quote, and then a short reflection on the power of paying it forward, connecting that act to our everyday life, showing us the simple ways that we can start making a change and how we could start viewing the world in a little bit of a different way. So definitely check that out. As you guys may have heard, for those of you that have tuned in last week, I announced the first winner every single month. The beginning of the month, I'm going to be announcing a winner based on somebody that is commenting on the videos and sharing their experiences on the videos. And that person is going to receive 2 copies of the Kindness Boomerang book, one for themselves and one to gift forward to somebody else. I want to give a big shout out again to the Werners, Emma Werner, for winning a copy of the book, and she's going to be gifting it forward to a school counselor in her school. So congratulations on that. Now on to the reading. Today's reading is coming from March 15th, and it's a really, really important one. And the act goes as follows. Fight the urge to gossip. Ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? The quote, "It's better to recall something you wish you'd said than something you wish you hadn't," by Frank A. Clark. And the reflection, ever wonder why we were gifted 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, but only 1 mouth? Think of the power of the mouth, its ability to communicate thoughts, ideas, complex philosophy, and great inspiration. Thoughts are only given power through the great ability of speech, and speech communicates those thoughts in a clear, concise, and well-organized manner. We all know the feeling of being tongue-tied. Perhaps we have great thoughts in our head, but if we are unable to communicate them to the world, it's hard to see what purpose they serve. The gift of speech is one of man's most powerful tools. Yet, that same vessel of power and beauty can, if not used properly, cause a great deal of pain by spreading words of hate, violence, and fear. The more we think about the way we use our voice, the more powerful it can truly become. If we taint our mouth with words of falsehood, gossip, and mockery, we taint that same vessel that we hope to call upon to deliver words of meaning, influence, and strength. Perhaps we were gifted with 1 mouth to remind us that we have but 1 vessel, and we must guard it well. This message is not only important in today's time, this is important for all times. The ability to protect our mouth from speaking negative talk. But let's maybe take it a step further. So a lot of times, again, and this is something I very, very often speak about, it's not always focusing on the negative or countering the negative. It's actually about doing more of the positive, because that in itself will counter the negative. So the act says, fight the urge to gossip. Ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? So maybe let's focus on that a little bit. What do you want to be known for? How do you want to be known? When someone hears your name, what do you want them to say? What do you want them to think? What do you want them to feel? Here's a small exercise that I would recommend each and every one of us do. Take a piece of paper or a postcard, whatever it might be. You could even do it on a note in your phone, and write your name at the top in big letters, your full name, with the question of, how do you want to be known? When someone says your name, what are the top character traits and values that you want them to think of right away? Do you want them to think that you're kind-hearted, that you're loyal, that you're respectful, that you're trustworthy? Think about how you want to be known. I can tell you one thing, a person that gossips, okay, and again, gossip has been happening throughout the centuries for years and years, and it's done a tremendous amount of disservice to us as a people. Not just because we're spreading rumors or speaking negatively about others. when you use that one vessel that you've been given, one vessel, our mouth, to speak both good and to speak bad. Think about it. If you're going to taint it with negative speech, how is it possible to use that same mouth, that same vessel, to bring good into the world? Our words truly have a tremendous amount of power. You know, there's the famous phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. The truth is, I really don't believe in that phrase. I really don't, because you see, sticks and stones can break bones, but you see, the thing about bones is that they heal. Words last with a person. They don't cut somebody on the outside. They cut somebody on the inside, and that's a much harder wound to heal because it's always there. So we have to realize that we have to be very careful with the words that we speak, remembering to protect this one vessel that has been given to us to do so much good into this world. Think about it. Inspiration comes from words of power, words of influence. So how do we want to be known for? So here's another way of considering this. How can you use this one vessel over the course of this week? Not just to not speak gossip. How can you use it to speak goodness, to bring goodness into the world? How are you going to use that vessel to make somebody else feel really great about themselves? Here's the thing when it comes to wanting to prevent ourselves from speaking gossip. Sometimes it's become so innate within us, we don't even realize that we do it. So, do a bit of an exercise today. After you make that list of how you want to be known for, okay? Take the time in the beginning of your day and tell yourself, all right, today I really want to focus on my words. I want to focus on not using my words to hurt another, not speaking negatively about somebody. Whether it's to their face, behind their back, it doesn't make a difference. They hurt. And words come back to people, even if you don't think that they are. And at the end of your day, try and sit down and really think. Think about your actions over the course of the day. Is there things that you can do better? Now, whenever we want to improve, in the very beginning, it's not so easy. You're not going to necessarily notice it and prevent yourself from speaking those words of gossip. Maybe it's a common thing, let's say in your workplace, in your school, where you're sitting together at lunch and everybody starts talking about everybody else. If you, first of all, bring into your mind that you want to become aware of the words that you're saying of this vessel that you have, the very, very first day or two, or maybe even a first week, you're only going to recognize it after you've already said it. And then little by little, you're going to start recognizing it as you're saying it. And then you're going to start recognizing it right before you're about to speak it, until it's going to come to the point where you don't even think it, where it doesn't even cross your mind. Because if we for a moment stop and take thought about what negative words of gossip have done to us, there's no way we would ever want to do that to somebody else, even if that person is our so-called enemy. It's so hurtful, it's so painful, but what it does is it doesn't just hurt that person. Guys, it doesn't. It hurts us. It hurts that vessel that we use to bring good into the world. And it taints the way that others see us, the name that we want to build for ourselves. So maybe at first, when you're sharing this really juicy piece of gossip, oh my goodness, everyone is crowded around you. And it's like, wow, what happened? What did you find out? What's going on? And people are so excited to hear this negative talk. Ask yourself, how do you think that they're really viewing you? If you're going to right now go ahead and you're in front of a group of friends and you're speaking negatively about somebody, even though they might be psyched to hear that information, they just want to hear it. Yeah, tell us. Do you think that the people that are listening have respect for you, are going to trust you with telling you anything? In the back of their mind, they're saying, wow, if this person is speaking now about this other person, I'm not going to share with them things that are really important to me or really sensitive to me, because who's to say that they won't share it with somebody else? I know it might be difficult. It's not an easy thing to stand up for what's right. Some people can be like, oh, come on, just tell us. It's unfortunate that we feed off of negative energy. The question is, why do we do that? Why do we feed off of this negative energy? Why do we want to hear more negative? Why is it that a negative post on social media will get more traction than a positive post? Why? Why is that? Perhaps it's something within our own human psyche that maybe by seeing negativity, it makes us feel better about the lot that we have. And so we cling to it more. That could be. I'm not going to say, this is my opinion. I don't know. But imagine if we can shift that. Imagine if we can shift the dialogue to be about something that is positive. To want to follow somebody that is doing good in the world. To be able to speak positive speech about somebody. There's loads and loads that we could talk about in terms of gossip and positive speech and negative speech. There's so much. We could have just a weekly session just talking about that. Because sometimes even positive speech can be negative. I'm going to give you a small example so you can understand. So we're talking about this concept of not speaking gossip. Let's say I'm around a group of friends, okay? And it's me and two other people. And I just had an amazing experience with a separate friend. Let's call that friend Steve. And I love Steve. And Steve is the best. But this other person that I'm now talking in front of, I know in my heart really hates Steve. Really can't stand Steve. Now, something positive just happened with me and Steve. Now, if I come to this group and I know that one of these people does not like Steve, and I start saying, wow, you don't know what Steve did. He's the best guy in the whole world. I love him. What am I doing? Now, I'm saying positive things about Steve, right? But if I know that this other person has something negative against Steve, do you know what I'm really doing? I'm making negative thoughts come into that person's head. Oh, I hate that Steve. Even if you're saying something positive about him. Protecting our mouth goes so much farther than just saying good or saying bad. It's also taking notice to who's around us. How what we're saying is going to affect somebody else. Now, no one is going to be able to tell you, oh my goodness, how did you do that? You could say, oh, well, I didn't know. I had no idea. We can hide why we do the things that we do, but only us in our hearts know it. So that's why it says here, the question says, what do you want to be known for? How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as the guy that just tells everybody the gossip and gives everybody the news? Or do you want to be the person that everyone knows is going to be loyal to them? So over the course of this week, let's try and practice that a little bit more. Not just focusing on not speaking negative, trying to focus on speaking positive, but in the right settings. Being mindful is really the basis of everything that we're talking about here today. So write down that list. Write your name at the top. How do you want to be known? And ask yourself each and every day, am I working towards that goal? Are the actions that I'm taking, are the words that I'm speaking, is it actually leading me closer to that or further away from it? I wish us all luck, myself included, because this is something that I definitely want to be mindful of each and every single day. As a teacher, during my years teaching, I always say I was the best version of myself. Why? Because I wasn't just speaking words. I had to live by them. I had to be that model for my students. And being in the position of working with LifeVestInside, it's given me that opportunity as well. It's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. And I hope that each and every one of us, we're going to come across, I'm just warning us, all of us, myself included, we're all going to come across a test over the course of this week. The question is, are we going to be able to pass it? So good luck to all of you out there. Before I head off, just a couple of announcements. For those of you that are interested in receiving our newsletters, we have two newsletters, the daily kind that goes out Monday through Friday, an act of kindness, positive affirmation, quote, and kindness media showing you something positive in the world. We also have the Kindness Flash, a monthly newsletter going out once a month, focused on a specific theme. This month's theme is the theme of humanity. You could sign up for one or for both of these newsletters really simply by going to LifeVestInside.com. On the top right corner, click on sign up. There you'll have the opportunity to sign up for one or both of the newsletters. We are in the process of getting our new website up, so I apologize if it may not look the way that I'm showing to you right now. There's a lot of changes happening over the course of this week, which is really, really exciting. One last thing, please, I ask each and every one of you to take a moment and hit the subscribe button to show your support. And if you feel like this video will touch another friend's life or family member's life, share it with them. Invite them to come along with us on this weekly Kindness Kickoff every single Monday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And remember, it's kindness that keeps the world afloat. Love you all now. Bye. Mwah.